Did y'all talk about John Cena saying he don't want kids?
No, I didn't bring up John Cena.
Yeah, because
So you take it back. Hold on.
On the way there, I was like, I had tried to jump on, and but I had let my son drive, and be honest, we all fear for our lives, so I had to.
You definitely had to pay attention to all that.
But before I got off, I had heard you bringing up people with higher IQs not having kids and society and stuff like that, and I was like, John Cena. Let's see about John Cena. He was on Club Shay Shay. Cena. Did we get any hot takes on
Well, I'll say on who, because I'll say the only thing we had when I bought up Elon Musk, Broxy said the fact that Elon Musk he had a bunch of his kids with white national fire. Because he said it wasn't the same thing.
He only married the first one. Then he named his kids stuff that ain't even in the alphabet or numbers. Okay. All right.
And then we got to the fact that because the other video we watched with Cam Newton, the doctor was talking about how she was having kids. So people start talking about her geriatric eggs.
Yes.
And then there was a few people in the chat that said they was born to a 43-year-old mother.
Hey, my mom was what I consider old. My mom's considered herself old when she had me, and she had me at like 30, 31. And she considered herself super old because all her sisters had their kids early 20s.
In the 80s, that is kind of old.
It is.
Back in the 80s.
Yeah. So I was like, man, hold on real quick. We about to pull up that John Cena. But at the end of the day, but I'm about to show something else about that person that brought up Elon Musk that said that Elon Musk was different. Cause did they explain it? How?
I don't think about hold on, I'm gonna go find the comment again.
All right, so check this out. Here we go. So this is John Cena talking about not wanting kids, and this was his take about it. And let's see if it matches what you were talking about earlier. I got on halfway through.
I've read this, and it could be maybe somebody just reported it was a lie at one point in time that you didn't want kids. Where are you on kids now?
I don't want them.
You don't?
No, I'm still there. I'm 47.
Shout out to John Cena. That was me between ages of probably 6 to 42.
You don't want a little Johnny?
So
or Joanna?
That's great, and that's usually what everyone says. And I got to tell you, it's not the easiest out there because a lot of why we're here is to reproduce. I have a certain
I'm gonna say 100%
curiosity about life, and I also know the investment that it takes. And my biggest fear is, as someone who's driven, many times stubborn and selfish, I try to approach the world with kindness and curiosity, but I don't think I'm personally ready, nor will I ever be, to invest the time it needs to be a great parent, because I want to live life for all it is. And I still have a lot to do, and I still want to do a lot. I have a wonderful partner I do it with. We've had open conversations about this. We share the same values. It's a tough subject to talk about because it immediately puts you in a category, and we can't help but judge. People are human nature. We're all judgmental. I'd like to believe that I operate under the construct that everyone's okay living their life. And I can tell you, this is not like a knee-jerk reaction. I've thought long and hard about this. Even as my youngest ages, like 15, 16, I remember thinking about it. My opinions only hit that gray area during emotionally difficult times. And I'm very happy with where I stand. I have a lot of joy and fulfillment in my life. And that's pretty much where I stand on that.
Without
How you feel about that, Brisky?
Kids ain't for everybody, man. And John Cena seemed to be a very driven person, and he is not being selfish because he's like, look, I ain't gonna have time to be a good dad. Like me having kids right now.
and I'm be so honest, that juxtaposition between the common sense that John Cena saying, if you pay that back to back with Cam Newton's, now I kind of got to take back my whole order and erase that. In a vacuum of just what we talking about, it make me look like an idiot because because the logic, he wants to be a present parent, okay? Which for me, why would you want kids if you ain't gonna be present to be there for them? What's the whole point of having them? Unless you, now, it's a couple of caveats to this, all right? Let's say it was, I don't know, 99, all right? And imaginarily Aaliyah came to my school or whatever. Trap baby, for sure. Sometimes you gotta trap somebody, and I would be trapping Aaliyah. Back in the day, I would have had to trap her. I would have tried to marry her too, but if I couldn't marry her, I would have had to trap. But other than those extenuating circumstances, why? And who was what was her name from Teen Summit? You know who I'm talking about. Jalisa, Amanda Ananda. You know who I'm talking about.
She is pretty fun. So
let's say all of them came and I only had 6 months. I'm trapping everybody, and then the kids just gonna have to suffer. All right. Outside of some never ever gonna happen type stuff, the mind of John Cena just sounds so clear, so concise, so like he said, he wants to be kind to the world. It's not kind. What Cam Newton is saying is not kind to anybody but himself in his own mind.
Hey, the Bible said, "Be fruitful and multiply."
I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in there it says, "Please try to take care of what you putting out there."
You take care of it.
No, take care of meaning it's a whole. But how many dudes you knew that was out in the streets didn't have to be because they came from a good background?
I knew a few cats like that.
Somebody wasn't guiding them in the house. That's what happens when you just throwing stuff trash out in the street. And
yeah, I'm definitely not saying it's the best. Like what Chris Rock said, you can drive a car with your feet, but it's not a fucking good idea. You
didn't do it. I'm just saying
it's not a good idea.
I'm just talking about these two interviews. Who would you rather be?
Definitely John Cena.
And it sucks. It really do suck because it messes up my whole thought process about the whole situation. Because at the end of the day, and let me tell you my story, all right? I, Super Rig, never wanted kids. And the ones I have now, luckily they dope because 100% they look like me, because if they didn't, I don't care what them tests say, it had to go, okay? You don't look like me, it's out of here. But neither here nor there. However, when I found out about one, I found out about my daughter on MySpace, and she was like 4 months old, because I was out there just that crazy, all right? And I was kicked it with I had kicked it with like several people, and one of the people I had just met them on Black Planet, and they got to talk about this one person, and I was like, you know them? And they was like, yeah, I know them. I was like, oh, what they up to? It's like, I don't know, this on MySpace days. I was like, what's they MySpace? Go look on the MySpace. She holding the baby. Look just like me. I hit her up. I'm like, hey, that's my baby. She's like, how you know? I was like, duh, because she got my eyeballs. And she was like, how do you know it ain't so-and-so? Because we had been kicking it when she was a whole nother dude. That's a very whole nother story. And I knew about a dude. The one like I was getting played. I was a super whore back in the days. Anyway, I didn't want kids. However, it was no way on earth I wouldn't go take care of stuff. So I was like, yo, tomorrow, give me your address. I'm coming. Literally that day went $500. When he got a paternity test the very next day, even though it's the dumbest thing. I'm talking about the Chunk's face was painted on my face. Like my face was painted on her face. It was dumb, but I had to make sure. The other guy was super in love. He was praying it was his. I'm telling y'all this story, so I might tell y'all that full story one day.
Yeah, right.
Long story short, my brain worked like this. Dude had money. He had filled out the birth certificate, everything or whatever. He wanted it to be his, even though he knew it wasn't. And I was like, no. And people was asking me like, dude, you can leave. What's it? I was like, that's me. Why would me to get raised by this dude who was, I'm not gonna call him stupid. He was just stupid. How I'm gonna let this raise my offspring when I know I could raise it to be super dope? And it's not only could I am, because that is the job of my lineage of where I come from. My whole lineage, we take care of ours. So no ifs, ands, buts about it. Then, as soon as I found out about that, there was another one on the way. Same time, all same time. And I ain't want kids. However, if I was having them, I was going to be not just take care of, they had to be under me, under my tutelage to learn the way of our family. And the only way they was going to learn it with me there every day. No, I had to be there 100%. Wasn't no other way. And I went to the ends to make sure it was 100% me that was doing it all. Because I ain't trust nobody else. Because with my family name, it's prestige behind it, for me at least. So it's crazy to me how other people cool with just having seeds everywhere and don't feel like they have to embed the dope especially if you feel like you dope. Why wouldn't I want to embed the dopeness into my own child?
Yes, doc.
It's crazy. Money can't do it. Having money and the dude not being there all the time, it makes fraudries.
But what if he had the bread and he was there a decent amount of time?
What's a decent amount of time?
Like, he's out of a whole month, he see 12 times, 12 days out of that month,
and he's splitting that between 8 people.
Because I know some of them live in LA, right?
But I'm saying, so he got to do that 8 ways. Well, really 6. 2 of them. If I was a real kid, I'd be like, yeah, the time he's spending with the what you call them, the doppeldanglers. Yeah, y'all gonna have to cut that out. Okay, because
if they all lived in the same city, it's doable. Still not the best thing to do, but it's doable.
But that's subpar. Like, why is he striving for subparness is what I want to know.
So if a president had 12 kids or 8 kids, they busy as a mud. They probably won't even see their kids that much. It's people it's CEOs. I heard people who got like really intense jobs that don't see their kids as much as Cam Newton probably see his kids, and they may live in the same house.
And that's why they needed to be like John Cena. They selfish too. I brought that up earlier. Anybody that does that,
well, and the military people, pilots.
I put it like this. If your job was first, then you birthed a whole bunch of people knowing that's already your schedule, selfish. Now, if you had them before and was like, well, shit, now I need money to take care of all these Mickey Fickies, I'm going to have to be the CEO. I'm sorry, kids. I tried to be there, but y'all got me, but we eating tofu. I'm sorry. We going to have to. Then I understand it. But the whole thing, and you know how I tell you how the government shouldn't control people's bodies, and then you see what they did over in China where they was limiting people to having 2 kids and stuff like that. Even though I understand it, even though I don't think government should control it, I understand that because I really think it's 2 things I think you need a license for. And one of them is to have kids. I think, and it ain't got nothing to do with income or nothing. I think all income levels, I ain't down with the classism, right? But I think you should have to take a class in order to purposely have kids. Now, accidental kids, which I think is how kids should be here, to be honest. But if you want to have kids on purpose, I think you should have to go take a course, whole bunch of stuff. And if your wife bad, I'm going to have to pre-test to see if she,